Okay, so the last class we have been discussing regarding the functions of the and you have also studied about what is plasma, right? And today we have to study what are the functions of plasma proteins. Plasma proteins means proteins present in the plasma. You know what is a plasma? Blood as a solid portion may be formed of RBC, WBC, and platelets. They are constituting the formed elements of the blood. Then there is a liquid portion. The liquid portion may be formed of water and some other fine substances also. That is known by the name plasma, and there are few proteins present in the plasma. They are known by the name plasma proteins. And today we have to study what are the main functions of the plasma protein. They are listed here. One function of the plasma is that they are important reserve supply of amino acid for cell nutrition. Because what is the main function of the blood? Transportation. Transportation of different types of material. They are transporting oxygen, that is transporting carbon dioxide, that is transporting nutrients, that is transporting excretory products, that is transporting hormones. So main function of blood is transportation. Now here, one important function of the is that they are supply of amino acid. Amino acid is an important substance for the growth of cell, growth and development of the cell. They need amino acid. Along with amino acid, glucose is needed, and other substances are also needed. And this supply of amino acids to the different cells in the body. That is one function of plasma protein. So plasma protein is providing different types of amino acids to various cells in the body. That is one function of the plasma protein. The second function is that they are acting as a carrier of other molecules. Earlier I told you that one function of blood is transportation of hormones. Some of the hormones need an attachment with the plasma protein. That is, plasma protein will be taking this hormone to different parts of the body. So without the help of plasma protein, these hormones cannot travel or cannot be transported to different parts of the body. The second function of plasma protein is that they are helping in the transport of different types of molecules, including hormones. They are acting as a carrier. They carry the hormone and to different parts of the body. That is another function of the plasma protein. The third function is that plasma protein also help to keep blood slightly basic at a stable pH. Normal pH, the neutral pH is around 7. The pH of the blood is slightly above 7. That means blood is slightly alkaline. In order to maintain the alkaline nature of the blood, several proteins are needed. And one function of the plasma protein is that they are helping in increasing the alkalinity or basic nature of the blood. So that is the third function. It is by the presence of different types of different types of alkaline or basic plasma proteins in the blood is having a slightly alkaline nature. Otherwise, it may be either neutral or it may be acidic. So the alkaline nature of the blood is actually maintained or provided by the presence of various basic plasma proteins. Then another function is that it is helping in coagulation. You know what is coagulation? When there is some injury in your body, there will be leaking of blood from that outside. That leakage of blood is actually prevented by some kind of clot formation. And for the formation of clot, an important type of plasma protein on is fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is important. That is a plasma protein. So in that way, plasma protein is helping the blood to coagulate. So coagulation is another function. So coagulation or clotting of the blood is another function provided by the plasma protein. Now we can see the last plasma proteins govern the distribution of water between blood and tissue fluid by producing what is known as colloid osmotic pressure. That is, you know that the blood cells are floating in the blood. There are different types of RBC, WBC. They are flowing in the blood. There is a cytoplasm inside the RBC. There is a cytoplasm inside the WBC, and that cytoplasm is actually formed of water. There is actually a flow of water from the inner portion of the cytoplasm, inside the cytoplasm to outside. Outside means to the blood. And this flow of this flow of water to the inner compartment of the cytoplasm as well as outer portion of the cytoplasm cell is actually controlled by osmosis. Now here there is an important thing called osmotic pressure. That osmotic pressure is actually controlling the flow of water either into the cell or out to the outer portion of the cell. So plasma protein is acting as an important component in maintaining that osmotic pressure. So it is without the osmotic pressure, the normal osmosis of the taking place in the blood may not be taking place properly. So these are the five different functions of plasma proteins. Now next we have to see what are the different types of plasma proteins which we can find. There are three major categories of plasma protein. One type of plasma protein is known as albumin. Now another is known by here you can see that these are the different types of plasma protein. Albumin is an important type of plasma protein. Then globulin is present. Then fibrinogen is present. And other types of proteins are also there. So if you look at that, the major portion of plasma protein is actually formed of albumin. 60% of the plasma protein. So it's a major component of osmotic pressure. It is because of the presence of albumin in the blood, the normal osmotic pressure inside the blood can be maintained. Second type is known by the name globulin. Globulin is accounting for 35% of the total protein. So that is responsible for transport of different types of protein. So that is a protein, and then globulin is acting as a carrier molecule. Earlier I told you some of the carrier hormones needed a carrier molecule to travel in different parts of the body. So that part function is provided by globulin. And the third is known as the fibrinogen. That is, they are present only in very small quantity. That is only 4%. So 4%, so they are helping in the clotting of the blood, the functions in the blood clotting. So that is a third type of plasma protein, that is a fibrinogen. Then in addition, there are many smaller types of many other plasma protein like alpha antitrypsin and also coagulation factor. There are the clotting factors. You have studied that in +2 classes in zoology, blood clotting factors. So they are also plasma protein, but their percentage is less than 1%. So these are the various types of proteins that we can find in the blood. Now we will see, first is known as albumin. If you look at the albumin, they are contributing majority of the plasma protein. And it is also mentioned that they are the smallest and the most abundant. Earlier I can see that picture, 60% of the total plasma protein is actually contributed by albumin. Regarding the size of the protein, these proteins are very small. So that is why they have two features: smallest plasma protein as well as the most abundant plasma protein. Then reduction in plasma albumin content can result in loss of fluid from blood and gain of fluid in the interstitial space, which may occur in nutritional, liver, or kidney. For example, if there is a lack of albumin inside the blood cells or inside the body cells, what happens is that water from the body cell will be leaking into the spaces between the cell or into the tissue spaces, and that will result in inflammation. That is why when a person is having a liver damage or kidney damage, you can see that his body is swelling. The hands and legs there will be swelling on his legs, swelling on his hands, and swelling on his body. Different pathways, all will be looking there will be an inflammation or swelling on his body. So that is the reason why. So albumin is mainly responsible for maintaining the osmotic pressure. If there is a shortage of albumin, if there is a deficiency of albumin, that will be causing swelling in different parts of the body. Then another function, albumin may also helps many substance in plasma by binding to them and playing an important role in the transport of drugs, hormones, and fatty acids. So another function of plasma albumin is that they are getting attached to drugs, or they are getting attached to hormones, or they will be getting attached to fatty acids, and they will be carrying these drugs or hormones to various parts of the body. So that is acting as a carrier molecule. So that is another function of the albumin. So albumin has two important functions. Now we will see what is the function. What are the functions of globulin? Here you can see that the globulins are divided into, on the basis of molecular weight, we can find three major type of globulins. One is alpha globulin, beta globulin, and gamma globulin. So there are three different types of globulin. That different types of globulin is basically classified mainly on the size or size or on the molecular weight. The first is known as the globulins include high density lipoprotein and low density lipoprotein. You might have heard about HDL cholesterol and LDL cholesterol. You may have some idea if you have anybody in your house who is having a cholesterol. Sometimes they may be telling that LDL level is too high, HDL level is not enough. That kind of comment you may have heard. So that is also a globulin. There are two different types of globulin: HDL, high density lipoprotein, and there is low density lipoprotein. And here you can see that HDL functions in lipid transport, carrying fat to cell for use in energy metabolism, membrane reconstruction, and hormone function. So that is function of HDL. Normally we say that HDL is good for the body and LDL is harmful for the body. So higher the amount of HDL, that is more good for that person. Another person, HDL also appear to prevent cholesterol from invading and settling on the walls of the artery. You might have heard about that. Sometimes what happens before a heart attack is that the fat or cholesterol in your body may be getting deposited on the wall of the artery, so that the arterial wall will be the diameter of the arterial wall will be reduced, so that blood cannot be easily cannot pass through the arteries easily, and that will result in a block in the heart, a block in a major artery, finally resulting in heart attack. So HDL in that place is preventing that formation or that deposition of cholesterol on the wall of the artery. So that is why generally doctors say HDL, higher level of HDL is always good, and if you have a lower level of HDL, that indicates some kind of risk of heart attack or heart diseases. So LDL carries cholesterol and fats to tissues and used in the manufacture of steroid hormones, building of cell membrane, and another problem is that they are helping in the deposition of cholesterol in the arterial wall. That means if your body has a higher level of LDL, that will trigger or that will be responsible for depositing this excess fat on the inner wall of the artery or inner wall of the blood vessel. So that will be creating problem for it will create blocks in your heart, blocks in your major blood vessel. So LDL is always harmful. Though both LDL and HDL are proteins, they are actually carrier protein. LDL is carrying cholesterol, HDL is also carrying cholesterol. But LDL protein can deposit that cholesterol on the inner wall of the artery, whereas HDL protein can prevent that formation. So these are the two main difference between HDL as well as LDL. Now, third type is the fibrinogen. Now, fibrinogen is a protein involved in blood coagulation or blood clotting. So here you can see that fibrinogen is a soluble precursor of a sticky protein called fibrin. Actually, in your blood, this protein is normally present as fibrinogen. When it is activated, in this soluble fibrinogen will be converted into an insoluble form, or that soluble protein called fibrinogen will be converted into a kind of thread or a network like structure. And in that network like structure, blood cells and platelets get trapped, and that will be acting as a block, and that is how the clot is normally formed. So here what happens is that fibrinogen is a soluble precursor of this sticky protein called fibrin. So it is by the formation of fibrin at the site of an injury or on the site of a wound that helps in the formation of blood clotting. So without fibrinogen, this clotting process cannot take place. So for the formation of blood clot also, this protein known by the name fibrinogen is an important thing, and fibrin plays key role in coagulation blood, which we will be studying about coagulation later. So these are the three major type of protein. We have albumins, we have globulins, and we have fibrinogen. Along with that, there are smaller type of other substances are also present in your blood. Then amino acid. This is another type of. They are formed from the breakdown of tissue protein or from the digestion of digestion. So this is another substance present in the plasma. Along with that, there we can also find nitrogenous base. That is, plasma contain different types of protein. There are three major types of protein: fibrinogen, globulins, and albumin. Along with this protein, we can find also amino acids are also present in the plasma. Then nitrogenous base, different types of excretory products are also present in the plasma. Then we can also find nutrients. There different types of nutrients like glucose, amino acid, fat, cholesterol, lipids, vitamins, and minerals. They are also present in the plasma. So plasma contains various types of solid substance. Some more majority of the solid substance are proteins, and some are excretory products, and some are nutrients. So this is the regarding an idea of the solid portion of the plasma. Then, then extra other smaller substance present in plasma are gases. Oxygen may be present, carbon dioxide may be present. They are also present in the plasma. And a small amount of carbon dioxide and oxygen are also transported through plasma. Then electrolytes. Electrolytes are different types of ions, like sodium ions they are important in maintaining the osmotic pressure, osmolarity, and they are also present in the plasma. So going to the various substance present in the plasma, majority of the substances are under the category of plasma protein. There are three different types of plasma protein. Along with that, some amount of gases, ions are then nutrients are also present in the plasma. So this is regarding an idea of what are the various substances, what is the function of plasma protein, and what is the nature of these different types of plasma proteins. Then we can find, we'll go to the next area, that is the red blood cells. We have to see what is the structure of a red blood cell. And basically, here you can find that they are known as erythrocytes, have two main functions: to pick up oxygen from the lungs and deliver it to tissue. That is one major function of an RBC. RBC is carrying the oxygen present in the lungs, and this oxygen will be transported or delivered to different parts of the body. So there is one function of the RBC. Now, second function, to pick up carbon dioxide from different body cells or body tissues and bring it to the lungs. So these are the two major functions which are normally carried out by the RBC. Now going to the structure of the RBC. Here we have already seen that the structure of RBC is something like this. It is a biconchave. See, the inner side is there is a depression, or there is the sides are more thicker, the inner side are more thinner. That's how it's a biconchave. It's like a concave lens. Both sides are concave. So it's a biconchave disc-shaped cell. That is why biconchave disc-shaped cell. So that is the nature of the RBC. Then RBC is basically a biconchave disc-like cell. Here you can see it's a disc-like cell with a thick rim and a sun gun. Sun gun means a depression. And the plasma membrane of a mature RBC has glycoproteins and glycolipids that determine the blood type of a person. That is, on the surface of this RBC, there are special type of proteins present. These proteins are known by the name glycoprotein or glycolipid. It is basically based on the nature of this glycoprotein or glycolipid. You have A group blood, B group blood, AB group blood, or O group blood. So their presence, the presence of this glycoprotein or glycolipid are responsible for deciding the type of blood group a person is having. On the inner surface of these proteins, there are two proteins, spectrin and actin. So that is on the inner side of the plasma, the inner side of the RBC. So outer side we can find glycoproteins and glycolipid. Inside the RBC we can find spectrin and actin. Their main function is to give some kind of strength and durability. So strength of the RBC is mainly made up of two proteins. One is spectrin, second protein is known by the name actin. And this allows, because of the presence of this actin and spectrin, RBC can stretch, bend, fold, and they can fuse through small blood vessels. That is, in the capillaries, on the wall of the capillary, there will be very smaller holes. Through that holes, RBC can easily fuse and move outside. So that nature of RBC is actually provided by the presence of these two proteins. One is spectrin and second one is known by the name actin. So they are responsible for this fusing ability or stretching ability of RBC to move from inside the capillaries to the outer portion of the capillaries. Then we going to the other important function details of RBC. They are capable of aerobic respiration, preventing them incapable of. See, this is an important thing. They are incapable of aerobic respiration. What is aerobic respiration? Respiration carried out by using oxygen. That is known by the aerobic respiration. If a type of respiration is taking place in presence of oxygen, we call it by the name aerobic respiration. Now, what happens here is that in the case of RBC, there is no nucleus. Only on a majority of RBC is actually formed on hemoglobin. So there is no nucleus in the RBC. That means there are no structures inside RBC that is utilizing oxygen. So RBC is mainly acting as a transport medium. If the RBC is getting 100 molecules of oxygen, they are not taking or they are not using even one molecule of oxygen. They will be transporting 100 molecules of oxygen to the different types of bodies. So that is the nature of RBC. RBC is not consuming or not using any oxygen. They are transporting all the oxygen to the nearby, to the various cells of the body. So that is one important nature of the RBC. Then, because if you look at the inner cytoplasm of the RBC, there are no mitochondria. They have no mitochondria, they have no nucleus, and they also do not have any genetic material. So most of the RBC, because of that, RBC is not utilizing in oxygen, and RBC is also incapable of repairing. If there is some kind of body damage, this RBC is unable to repair themselves. Then resulting biconchave shape is that greater surface area to volume, enabling oxygen and carbon dioxide to quickly diffuse to and from hemoglobin. That is also another advantage of the RBC. Then coming to the cytoplasm, the cytoplasm RBC is actually formed of 30%, 33% of solution of hemoglobin. So major portion of RBC is actually hemoglobin itself. Now, so that is why I told you the main function of the RBC is transport. So 33% of the substance, total substance inside the RBC is actually hemoglobin. Now coming to the life of RBC, it is normally living for about 4 months or 120 days. That is a normal lifespan of an RBC. After a 120 days, that will be taken to liver or spleen where it will be destroyed and their parts will be used for regeneration of new RBC. So as RBC ages, its membrane grows increasingly fragile or means weak, and without key organelles, RBC may not be able to repair that. So normally at the end of 120 days or 4 months, RBC usually dies, or it will be damaged, it will be dead, and that dead RBC will be again utilized for the formation of new type of substances in our body. And many RBC die in the spleen. Here you can see that where they are trapped in narrow channels, broken up and destroyed. And hemolysis refers to rupture of RBC, where hemoglobin is released leaving empty plasma membrane, which are easily digested by manganese. After this 120 days of its life, RBC will be taken to an organelle called spleen. Spleen is a very tiny organ present near the liver. In the inside of spleen, this RBC will be destroyed. So that is how normally it is taking place, and it is further broken down different components and recycled in the body, or for that is or it will be excreted from the body. What cannot be used will be excreted from the body. So next is the WBC. Regarding WBC, it is a longer portion. I think we will be taking the WBC in our next class. So today, just remember that what is the function of plasma, what are the functions of plasma here, what are the different types of plasma protein, what is albumin, what is globulin, what is fibrinogen, then also regarding the structure as well as the functions of the RBC.